Hi guys, and welcome to my bite-sized training. For those who are new, welcome, and for those who are returning, thank you very much. Let's just take a moment to appreciate Willow, our therapeutic dog. He insisted that he was part of this training, so I'm going to insist that he joins us. This week, we're going to be looking at the residential supported accommodation business. I'm going to take you through the steps one by one on how to register your business. Yes, I'm going to hold your hand as promised and help you to register your business. But before we register your business, it's important that you establish what is the nature of your business. So let's have a deep dive into what support models are available in the supported accommodation business. So within this sector, as you can see at the top, we have the residential business model. This is basically what everybody's talking about, supported accommodation. Underneath, you can see the children homes, which goes from 0 to 16, supported accommodation, which is 16 to 18, and supported accommodation 18 plus. Let's take a look at the rows underneath. So once you've established the nature of business you want to open, whether it's a children's home, 0 to 16, supported accommodation, 16 to 18, or supported accommodation, 18 plus, we now need to establish who is our governing body, whether it's Ofsted or it's the WLA, which stands for the West London Alliance Commission. Forgot the C. If we look at the children home model and you follow the flow chart through, you will see that children homes are regulated by Ofsted. So you will definitely need to apply through Ofsted's platform to register your business. Before doing so, you will need to establish who the registered manager is and who the registered nominated individual is. You will need both of these parties before you can set your business up. Let's look at planning permission. With a children's home, you will need to have planning permission, which is C2. This is to change the use of the building. Most dwellings that we rent out for this building is a C3 dwelling, which basically stands for family dwellings. However, because we're using this for business purposes, we now need to change this to C2. Some local authorities might accept C3B, but please check with your local authority for planning permission. Now let's look at supported accommodation, 16 to 18. Again, this business is registered by Ofsted. You will need a registered manager and you'll also need a nominated individual, which is pretty much the same as a RI. But again, because they're two different business models, they have different names. Let's have a look at the planning permission for this business. You will not need to have any formal planning permission. However, you may need to apply for a certificate of lawfulness or a HMO license, but please check with your local authority as this differs from borough to borough. And remember guys, this is a general guide. Please always seek legal advice when making your final decision. Let's look at supported accommodation 18 plus. Will this provision need to be registered with Ofsted? No. It will still need a manager and a nominated individual. You will not need to have planning permission because you can have solo units and shared units. However, always ensure that the house is HMO compliant or you have the relevant certificate of lawfulness, again depending on your local authority. It is your duty of care, guys, to ensure that all homes are HMO compliant. Will you need a registered manager? Again, we will need this to proceed if we're going to register with the West London Alliance Commission. And again, we'll delve into this in another video. So now we've established what business model we want, it's now time to get the business off the ground. So let's go back to our learning quadrants. Remember guys, these are the key points in our learning. So let's remind ourselves of what the learning quadrants are. We have business, support service, property, and registration. For this segment of training, we are going to be working in the business quadrant. So let's get started. To register your business, you'll have to pick a platform where to register your business. You need to birth it. It's not alive, it doesn't exist, it's just a thought in your mind. But now for people to take us serious, we need to get it down on pen and paper. When registering a business, you have a few platforms that you can use. You can go directly to Company House or you can use a company formation website. For this training, I'm going to use First Choice Formation. For me, I find this platform very straightforward. It does everything it says on the tin, and it's done all in one place, included a business registered director's address. So important, guys, don't forget to use the right platform and select a business registered address so your home address is not on Company House's public website. So let's take a look at First Choice Formation. As you can see, guys, this website is user friendly. Before you start, it's important that you set up an account. So please go into the account login and select register. Once you've registered, I want you to come back to home and enter your business name. For this purpose, I'm just going to use my name. Don't forget to put the limited at the end, guys, because they'll give you a further prompt later on through the process. So as you can see, I entered my business registration name and it has informed me that this name is available. If this was not available, there'll be a red cross here and you'd have to reselect the business name that you wish to use. You then click Save and Continue. Here it gives you the different forms of registration that you can select. For this purpose and our nature of business, we are going to select limited company with a registered office. We need to have a virtual address so nobody can find our personal details, but most importantly, so nobody can find our children. We do not want home's address on a public website where many individuals can just Google us and find us. Remember, loads of children are placed with you for different reasons, and your duty of care is to safeguard them. So let's resume. Let's select the limited company formation, as you can see it's selected here, and the registered office address. This is just for mail from HMRC or anything pertaining to Company House. This is not for advertising purposes or to have generic mail, because they'll send it back to you if you do not select the mail forwarding service. We've selected the services we needed, and let's click Save and Continue. Now it's going to ask us to select any additional services that we need, such as an application review, VAT registration, agent surcharge, etc. You need none of these services. You want to click down and select Director's Service Address included with Registered Office Service and click Add. As you can see, this is a free service. Double check your item list and ensure that all the elements of your business is included. One thing I love about First Choice Formation is it gives you the memorandums and articles of association. It also gives you your web authentication code and your e-share certificate. Then select Save and Continue. Now it's going to ask you to select a SIC code for your business. This is the code that represents the nature of your business. So take your time to go through the options and select the one that best suits you. For this training purposes, I'm going to select Human Health and Social Work Activities Q, and I'm going to select Other Residential Care Activities 87900. On the next page, it's going to ask you to confirm your forwarding address. This is the address that you want your mail to be forwarded to. Remember, your initial mail is going to be sent to your business registered address, and then you're going to choose a forwarding address for them to forward that mail to you. You also have the option within this package to have your mail opened by the recipient and then scanned and uploaded onto your platform where you can read your mail. Once you've inputted your address, you're then going to scroll to the bottom of the page and click Save and Continue. You're going to read over the page and ensure that you have all the little trinkets that you need to support your business. I would say leave it out. You don't need nothing more. Just click Save and Continue. Now here's the fun part. It's going to ask you to appoint members of your business. So now we're halfway to birthing the business. We need to select a mum and a dad. Okay, and I mean a mum and a dad because with this nature of business, it's always good to have two directors. It's reassuring for those who are paying and it's reassuring for those who are funding. So for the first person, we're going to select them as the director, the shareholder, and the person of significant control. If you do not understand what this means, please hover the cursor over the question mark and it will give you further details. You're then going to click the shareholder confirms that the named officer has consented to act as a director or secretary and click next. You're then going to put in the name of the officer, enter your details, and then you're going to answer the authentication questions, which ask you your mother's maiden name, first 3 letters, your father's maiden name, or your town of birth. Feel free to select different questions if it's easier for you. Then press next. On the next page, it's a confirmation of your director's service address included with registered office address. This should have a green tick on the top right-hand corner. Then select Choose Forwarding Address. You will then be required to put your personal home address. Don't worry, this is not going to show up on Company House, but this is the address the company will use to forward any mail that needs to come to you. Once you've selected this address, press Next. Now we're coming to the end. It's going to ask you to select the nature of control. Does this officer have a controlling interest in this company? This is going to be you, because you're going to start with appointing yourself first. You're going to give yourself 75% or more rights. You're going to have 75% or more voting rights. And can you appoint or remove the majority of the board of directors? Select yes. Before selecting ownership in shares and voting rights, please ensure that you seek legal advice if you're in a partnership with a friend or family member to ensure that the right choices are made. Does this officer have a controlling influence over a firm and or members of that firm which also has a controlling influence in this company? You select no or yes if applicable. And does this officer have a controlling influence over a trust or trustees of that trust which has a controlling interest in this company? And you select what's relevant. For us, we're going to select no for both. Now with the shares, you're going to select the amount that is appropriate for you, but for this purpose, we're going to keep it as £1. We're going to select next, and voila, you've appointed your first director and shareholder. And then you repeat the process to appoint another director or secretary or whatever is relevant and suitable for your business. Once this is completed, you click save and continue. Now it's going to offer you some freebies. Not everything is free is good, so ensure that you read what is being offered to you. I'm going to select the legal documents, which is free, click save and continue. On the next page, you'll be given a few options to choose in terms of business banking. Have a read. However, I would say leave this till a later date. Click save and continue. A box will then pop up on the screen asking whether you do not need a bank account or you should take a look. Let's select I don't need one. Now we've skipped the business banking option, it's going to ask us if we need accounting software. Again, if you need this, apply. If not, just skip and press save and continue. The optional extras that are offered are not needed. However, pick which applies to you. At the end, scroll down and then click save and continue. Okay, now you're done. So now review the page, ensure that all the information is correct and there's no spelling errors. We want to make sure there's no spelling errors because this may be an issue when you apply for business banking later on. After reviewing, you can then see it's going to list out all the parts that come with your registered business and most importantly, the subtotal. Ensure that you answer the question at the bottom that asks you, are you in order to meet the KYC obligations under the Money Laundering Regulations Act? Ensure that you select you are not part of a body, your date of birth, your residential home address, and your relation to the company. So whether it's for you, you're an agent, etc. Click on I agree with the terms and conditions, apply, and then go to the checkout. Now down to you to pay for your business, and voila, your business is registered. Expect your business to take no longer than 2 weeks, but as soon as 48 hours. Well done to you. You're one step closer to getting your idea into reality. Don't forget to watch the other videos for further information on how to get this business up off the ground. Take care, and I'll see you soon.